having a fantastic time, and the feeling of exhilaration when you get off that pitch and you've won. I can equally remember coming off covered in mud, cold, wet and miserable because we had lost, and usually to the team that we were most keen to beat. It is my passion to try and get across to you in this video what defeat can actually mean in diabetes. So let's have a look at how it can happen. There's various reasons. The first one I want to talk about is the lack of flow in a rugby match of the ball. So a lack of flow down the back. So the scrum win the ball from a line out, from a scrum, and they pass the ball, get the ball out. The scrum half gets hold of it, passes it to the fly half to the centres to the wing streams down the touchline, over the try line and scores for your team. That is often the case. Probably more often, the scrum half passes the ball, the fly half gets it, passes it to the centre and somebody knocks the ball on. The ball goes to ground and either the other team get it or anyway the play is disrupted. You see, the flow is important. In a diabetic foot, the flow is crucial as well to its well-being. And the problem is that diabetes, high blood sugars over time, affects that flow. And it is really, really important that you try and manage those blood sugars so that the arteries and the capillaries do not get affected. So that's the first thing then, lack of flow. Second thing is not closing the gaps. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that if you've got a whole team of 15 people coming towards you, you want to be covering most of the pitch so that there isn't any big gaps for people to get in. Same way, if you've got diabetes, you want to make sure that there are no gaps in the skin on your feet. Any small wound can lead to a big problem because the enemy, in this case bacteria, can get in. And that is what we do not want, because infection in a diabetic foot is one of the key reasons that things go so horribly wrong. The next thing I want to look at is you may have all those gaps covered, but in actual fact you may not tackle. So you might have a man running towards another one and he bottles it and doesn't do the tackle. It is crucial that we tackle the bacteria as well. And the problem with diabetes is that you actually lose the ability. Your immune system isn't as good, so you actually lose that ability. The blood can't get the white blood cells down there to the foot, to the tissues that need it. And therefore, you can end up with a wound that gets infected. So again, critical that we do make sure that we haven't got a wound there, and if we have, we keep it clean. Just moving on to the next one, which is sustained pressure from a ruck or a maul. So in a rugby match, when you've got the ball there and they're fighting over it, quite often you can get what's called a rolling maul, which when they basically have got the ball forwards and they're pushing forwards, pushing the other team off it, and then they roll off it and they keep rolling and they get to go over the try line and score, or at least to win some ground. Sustained pressure will usually cause the other team to crack. Sustained pressure on your feet, likewise, will often cause a problem. And one of the common things I just want to point out here is the sustained pressure of footwear. For you and me, if we haven't got neuropathy, we put on a new pair of shoes and hey, we might feel good, they look good, but if we start feeling something and pressing on it, which let's be honest, quite often with a new shoe we do, we take them off. We don't wear them for so long. Somebody with diabetes often has neuropathy. They cannot feel that. If you've got neuropathy, you will not realise that you're damaging your feet by something like a tight shoe. And that then leads to a wound, which we've already gone over it, leads to infection, which leads to problems. So sustained pressure is a big cause of wounds. In a rugby match, sometimes the pressure comes in another form. So you might even be on the winning team, you might be in their half, and their fullback gets the ball and wellies it up, kicks it so hard that it goes right up into your half. Suddenly, the pressure is on your team to defend. You know what? That can happen with the feet as well. Sometimes, out of the blue, you step on something. A toy left around by the kids. A sharp bit of glass. Somebody broke a glass and didn't bother to tell you. A splinter, a thorn, a piece of grit in the shoe. Something sharp, something penetrates, goes into your skin, And maybe, again, because of neuropathy, you don't even notice it. But even if you do notice it, imagine a bit of glass going into your skin. How clean is that bit of glass? It gets in there, it deposits some germs, it seals up on top, but inside it festers. It is important. Please don't walk around barefoot if you have diabetes, and particularly if you have diabetes and you've lost some sensation. And by the way, it's not very easy to tell yourself whether you have lost sensation. I want to point you to the book actually that I've written. I've got the book, a copy of the book here. It's called Undefeated by Diabetes. It's available from our website, www.undefeated.org. And basically the book gives you all the knowledge you need to know about what can go wrong with feet. But it does more than that. It helps you to understand how at risk you personally are, how at risk your feet are of problems. And then it encourages you to act upon that. So I'd really encourage you to get hold of this. If you know somebody who has diabetes, then please get hold of it. Christmas is coming. It's a present for them. It's not a doom and gloom book. It's very much a book, a practical book of what you can do to stay strong, to stay in what I call the diabetic sweet spot, and to have a full, active life for many years to come. So please get it for your friends, get it for your loved ones, get it for yourself, and then let's act upon making sure we're in the safe spot. So, a couple more things. The scrum is often described as the foundation or the platform from which all the attacking moves take place. The problem is the feet are also described as being the foundation or the platforms of the body, if you like. And just as the structure of a scrum, if it isn't good and one team crashes down, they're likely then to lose that scrum, to be defeated in that scrum, if you like. Likewise, if your foot structure isn't right, and many people, the foot structure isn't right, then over time it is going to cause problems. So a poor foot structure over time can lead to bunions, it can lead to claw toes, it can lead to hammer toes, it can lead to a high profile of the arch, which leads to pressure points. Basically, all of these areas become areas of risk to high pressure and ulceration or breakdown of the tissues, which, you've guessed it, can get infected. So please, if you aren't sure what your foot structure is like, and if you're not a podiatrist or haven't had them checked, then let me just suggest that perhaps you are not an expert on it and you don't know. I would encourage you to go and see a podiatrist and get a checkup. Undefeated is actually organising a whole string of people throughout the country, practitioners who have volunteered some of their time to help you as somebody with diabetes. So you should be able to have a checkup for free, hopefully, which will be a very, very thorough checkup of what is going wrong or could go wrong with your feet. A couple more things as well we can learn from the rugby team. The backs, okay, the fast ones, if you like, rather than the slow ones like myself that used to be in the forwards. The backs, yes, they're used for attacking, but also they're used for defences as well. And sometimes you can have a crack in a defence. Let's say, for example, that the fullback is getting a bit tired near the end of the match and is getting cramp in his leg. That is a weakness, that is a crack. Sometimes in the feet, quite often in somebody with diabetes, it is affected by the skin drying out too much. And that means that the skin will crack. That again is a portal of entry for infection. Sometimes it gets too soggy in between the toes, and that can become a portal of entry for infection. So please make sure that if your feet are dry, you put cream on them. If they're wet and soggy in between your toes, make sure you dry them properly after your showers and look after them. Those are the tactical things, if you like, that can go wrong in a rugby match that I came up with. I know there's others, but those are the ones I want to share today. There are also some other ones as well, and the big one for me really is that a team needs a captain who believes in his troops, a captain who is going to really lift them up and encourage them to do their best, a captain who believes that they can win. You are the captain of your feet. It is critical that you really take on board that you are responsible for what's going to end up down there. So I do ask you, please make that commitment today that you're going to take your feet seriously. Okay? Really make a decision. You're going to start looking at them daily, washing them daily, hopefully, drying them properly daily, and visually having a look at them and making sure that all is okay. I want you to make sure as well that you actually do get them checked out by a professional. Please go to undefeated.org, have a look at what we're doing there, and please join our campaign to help people who have diabetes. One point I should make as well, if you're sitting there still after all this, listening, thank you so much. If you're sitting there and you think, well, I'm not diabetic, are you sure? Have you checked? 50% of people with diabetes, according to the International Diabetes Federation, are not aware that they have it. So please do get checked out. It does only a small blood test, doesn't take long, and you'd know and be on the safe side. So you're the captain. What about a coach? Can a coach help? Absolutely, a coach can help. For many of us, type 2 diabetes particularly, it comes on later in life, and we've got a whole host of habits, bad habits. Maybe we're not fit enough. Maybe our diet is bad. Maybe we just haven't got that enthusiasm. Hey, a coach can keep you accountable. A coach can help you. A coach will be looking at the footage of a rugby match before the team plays the next one and looking at how can we improve our team's performance? What are the dangers from this particular team that we're about to play? And then they will address it. Same thing in your life. You need to be able to learn what your weaknesses are and learn what attacks might be coming. And that might be different. If you go on holiday, the attacks could be very different to when you're home. Finally, thank goodness you're saying, the eyes of the team. The coach is the eyes of the team. The coach is looking at what's going on and he can see those weaknesses. In the same way, you may well need somebody else in your life to be able to help you. Diabetes often affects the eyes, so you can't see, but also having a loved one, or what I call a sweet spot buddy, which you can get from our website. You can meet up with somebody, or you can get it from a sweet spot group, or maybe your podiatrist can put you in touch with somebody else who has diabetes, who actually is going to be able to help you. But hopefully it's a loved one who can really vouch for you, can read the book alongside you, so they know what they're looking for as well. I hope today has been helpful for you. There is one more thing that I really want to stress to you, and that is probably the biggest thing that can make any team in any sport lose, and that is losing spirit. Please, as somebody with diabetes, do not give up, do not lose spirit. At the same time, don't take it as a menial thing. It is important. It is important. You may not have had any emphasis placed on your feet the whole of your life, and you may be 40, 50, 60 now, and thinking to yourself, well, I've lived this long, so what? Hey, think of all those people, 190,000 people during this tournament who have lost lower limbs around the world. Do you think they were expecting it? No. So please, please take it seriously. Thank you very much. Please visit undefeated.org. Please sign up for any information that you want to get. Go onto our forum at the Facebook, Twitter us at Be Undefeated, and yes, interact with us. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to teach you. There'll be lots of videos going up with workshops of what can be done. There's online interactive stuff where we will help to mentor you and coach you out of those bad habits. All in all, we want to help you. Enjoy the match tomorrow, whoever you want to win. Good luck to Australia and New Zealand, and I look forward to speaking to some of you at some point soon. Thank you very much. Take good care. Bye.